All right, Miss Nghi today she's going to present a topic from anatomy and physiology of what kind of system, Miss Nghi?
Circulatory system.
Which system?
Circulatory system.
Circulatory system. The blood, the heart, all the vessels, and also the diseases related, right? And you should
Yeah.
also talk about stroke and all the common diseases with the circulatory system. You should also talk about blood content, thành phần của máu, like for example, what's in the blood, and take deeper to talk about like how the circulation happens and how the gas exchange, how the nutrient exchange happen in the capillaries, you know. Trao đổi khí, trao đổi dinh dưỡng chất ở chỗ mấy cái mao mạch nó diễn ra như thế nào. And also talk about the structures of the vessels as well. Cấu trúc của những cái mạch đó. Okay, your turn. Do it now, please.
Okay. So now I'm going to talk about the circulatory system. The role of circulatory system is to deliver oxygen.
Circulatory, not tary, okay? Tory.
Circulatory system.
Circulatory system, yeah.
Its role is to deliver oxygen, nutrients, and other essential substances to all cells in the body. Now I'm good. So at the center of the circulatory system is the heart.
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 Heart. Cái từ đọc là heart nha.
Heart.
The heart. Okay.
It is a muscular organ that pumps blood through the body via a network of arteries and veins. So now I'm going to talk about the blood vessels. There are three types: arteries, veins, and capillaries. Arteries have the thickest wall. It carries blood from the heart to the body. Its inner layer, there is a smooth layer of endothelium, which prevents blood clotting. Next is veins. Veins have
Wait, you talk about endothelium. Endothelium is basically the layer in direct contact with the blood inside of blood vessels and inside of the circulatory system, right?
Yeah.
Cái lớp mà nó trực tiếp nó tiếp xúc với máu nó chảy nó chính là endothelium. Trong cái hệ tuần hoàn luôn. Yeah, okay. What about it then?
It is smooth, so therefore it prevents blood clotting. Next is vein. Veins have thinner walls compared to arteries, and therefore
Why is that?
Because it need to expand, it need to be easier to expand because it's accommodate a large volume of blood.
And also veins, remember, the heart pump blood, right? So it means at the heart, the blood pressure is the highest, isn't it?
Yeah.
So when it escapes from the heart, you come to the main arteries. That is where the pressure is also very high. But then you go through the system of a lot of capillaries. The pressure decreases. So when the blood is collected back into the vein, the pressure is already also very low already over there, right?
Yeah.
So you need, the vein should also have some muscles to help it pump blood, okay? And remember, that vein pump blood, but it also need the help of the muscle of the body. Like for example, skeletal muscles. So basically, the more you move, the better your vein will bring blood back to your heart, right? Remember that fact. And what else is there in a vein?
The walls of the vein have valves which prevent backflow of blood. Next is capillary. Capillary is the smallest vessels. It exchanges nutrients, oxygen, and waste products between the blood and body tissue. It has the thinnest wall, which increase the sufficiency of diffusion.
Okay, so my question for you is why is the wall of the arteries so thick?
Because because the blood pressure is the highest.
So it needs thick wall to endure the high pressure, right?
Yeah.
Right. That's one reason. Is there valves inside of the arteries and why?
There's no
Are there
valve.
valves inside of the arteries?
There's no valves
There
inside
are no valves, yeah. Okay, so it's no valve, okay. But why?
because it's not necessary because the blood does not flow backward.
Exactly, and valve prevent backflow. And inside the arteries, the blood pressure is very high already, so it doesn't flow back. It just go one way, so you don't need valves. The presence of valve there can actually cause the blood to get stuck more, right? So it's not helping. But in valves, because the blood pressure is very low already, the blood can have a tendency to flow back. So you need valves to allow only one direction flow, or you need directional flow of blood, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, please continue. So, okay, so the definition is very clear. If the blood goes out of the heart, those vessels are called arteries, okay? Chỉ cần máu đi ra khỏi tim là cái vessel đó gọi là động mạch nha. And if the blood goes back to the heart, that vessel is called a vein. Máu đi về tim chắc chắn cái vessel đó gọi là tĩnh mạch nha. Không cần biết là máu gì. You don't have to care about what kind of blood it is carrying. As long as what you have to care now is the direction, okay? Into the heart or out of the heart. Okay, next one.
Next, I talk about blood component. So, blood is made up of several different components, one of which is red blood cells, which is the main component of blood. It plays a crucial role in transporting oxygen from the lungs to the body cells and tissues. It contains a protein called hemoglobin, which binds to oxygen and facilitates transport. Red blood cells are continuously produced in the bone marrow and have a lifespan of about 120 days. It's made of about 40 to 45% of the total volume of blood.
So it means that the rest is just cells and other components of cells, right?
Yeah.
So its watery content actually contain a lot of water and dissolved substances like nutrients, sugar, proteins, and ions in there, right?
Yeah.
That is correct. Now, what else then?
Next, we have white blood cells, which play a role in the body's immune system by helping to defend against infection and disease.
And also there are proteins that do that too. Nó gọi là C protein á. C, chữ C á, C proteins are actually something that belong to the immune system that protects the body as well. You will learn it later. Anyway, please continue.
Next, we have platelets, which are small cells that play a role in blood clotting. Next, we have plasma. Plasma is the liquid of the blood made of about 55 to 60% of the total volume. It is clear, straw-colored fluid, contains proteins, minerals, hormones, enzymes, and other substances that support the body's function. Next, we talk about the heart. So the heart is the muscular organ.
Heart. A kéo dài em.
Heart.
A kéo dài chứ phải kéo dài.
Heart.
The heart.
The heart. It is a muscular organ made out of cardiac muscle.
Can
The
you
heart,
control those muscles?
we cannot control it.
Like consciously, can you stop the heart with your will?
No, we
You
cannot.
cannot. Because the heart, these muscles are controlled by the autonomic nervous system. Nó được điều khiển bởi hệ thần kinh tự động nha. You are not able to control it yourself. With your consciousness, no, you cannot. Okay. What else then?
The heart
Anything
is
else?
involuntary, so it can pump blood by itself without the nervous system control. So when you cut out human heart, it
Heart.
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 It beats around 100.
100.
100.
It beats around 100 beats per minute. But but when you have hook it up to the human body, it beats about 70 beats per minute, right? Why so? Nó là do là tại cái dây thần kinh lang thang vagal nerve và vagus, dây thần kinh số 10 ấy. It's because the heart is actually hooked up to another nerve called the vagal nerve. V-A-G-A-L. Vagal is an adjective. The noun form is vagus nerve. V-A-G-U-S. Vagus nerve. Dây thần kinh lang thang. Or we also call it the 10th nerve in the body. Nerve number 10. And that nerve belongs to the parasympathetic nervous system. Parasympathetic nervous system. Nó thuộc về hệ thần kinh đối cảm nhiễm. That plays a role in slowing down the heart, slowing down the body, things like that. Please continue.
Next, we talk about the structure of the heart. So the heart is divided into 4 chambers: the left and right atrium and the left and right ventricle. The atria are the upper chambers, and the ventricles are the lower chambers.
What else then?
Next, we talk about the order of blood flow through the heart. So the oxygen depleted blood from the body enters the right atrium from the superior and the inferior vena cava. Then the right atrium pumps the blood into the right ventricle. The right ventricle pumps the blood into the lungs where it is oxygenated. The oxygenated blood returns to the left atrium by the pulmonary vein. The left atrium pumps the blood into the left ventricle, and the left ventricle pumps the oxygenated blood to the rest of the body by the Next, I'm going to talk about the heart valves. So there are 4 valves that regulate the blood flow and ensuring that it moves in the right direction. First is the atrioventricular valves. There is tricuspid valve. Tricuspid valve, which located between the right atrium and the right ventricle. It has 3 cusps and prevent the blood from flowing backward from the right ventricle into the right atrium when the ventricle contracts.
Very good.
Next is the bicuspid valve. It is
we call them the mitral valve as well.
Oh,
It's another name, it's mitral valve, yeah.
the mitral valve is between the left atrium and the left ventricle. It has two cusps and it helps prevent blood from flowing
Yeah.
back.
The mitral valve has two taper cusp. Because it has two taper cusp, it's also named bicuspid valve. Yeah. Yeah. Mitral valve is also called bicuspid valve. Yeah. Van hai lá.
Oh,
Well, this is a mitral valve, also bicuspid valve. Very good. And it prevents what?
it prevent blood from flowing backward from the left ventricle into the left atrium when the ventricle contracts. Next, we're gonna talk about the semilunar valves.
Van bán nguyệt. Bán nguyệt. Semilunar valve, yeah.
We have the pulmonary valve, which is between the right ventricle and the pulmonary artery. The valve have three cusps and prevent blood from flowing backward from the pulmonary artery into the right ventricle when the ventricle relaxes.
Van bán, cái van là van bán nguyệt, tức là nó một nửa hình cái mặt trăng á. So it's half of the moon. Okay, so we have aortic valve and then pulmonary valve, these two. Một cái là aortic valve là để sao? Là để chống không cho nó backflow lại cái left ventricle nha. Đó là aortic valve. Còn một cái pulmonary valve là để chống không cho máu nó quay ngược trở lại right ventricle nha.
Yeah.
So there are four valves in the heart that you have to know. Okay, very good. What else then?
Now I'm going to talk about the cardiac cycle. There are two main phases, the systole and the diastole.
Diastole and systole, yeah.
Diastole. During the systole, the tricuspid and the mitral close, which prevent the blood from flowing into the atria. The semilunar valve open, allow blood to flow into the pulmonary artery and aorta.
Thực sự là systole là khi mà cả hai cái ventricle nó cùng đập á, nó cùng contract. Basically, when during systole, both of the ventricles contract. So where's that blood coming to? It has to go through these pulmonary valve and aortic valve, or we call them we call them semilunar valves. Khi mà cái systole này á, nó xuất hiện á, systole là khi nào mà hai cái tâm thất á, hai cái ventricle nó cùng đập cùng lúc thì máu đi đâu? Nó sẽ đi vô mấy cái chỗ pulmonary valve này và cái aortic valve này nó đi đến phổi và đi đến cơ thể. For diastole, how about that?
For
Diastole là khi mà diastole is basically when the ventricle relaxes. Muscle chỗ này nó relax, nó giãn ra, and then when it relaxes, the blood from the from the right and the left ventricle flow to the ventricles, okay? Like the blood from the right ventricle, the blood from the right atrium will flow to the right ventricle. And of course, the blood from the left atrium will go to the left ventricle. And of course, these valves have to be open. Tricuspid and mitral valve has to be open. And these aortic and pulmonary valve, or we call them both semilunar valve, have to be closed. Right? Cái diastole là khi mà cái máu nó lấp đầy vô lại tim á. Diastole is when the blood flow, it's filling the heart, but systole is when the heart starts to pump, you know. Just to make sure that you understand it, okay? All right, you can continue now. A lot of people get confused when they talk about systole and diastole. So there's something also called the loop doop sound, the heart sound. Âm thanh của ta tim á, tiếng loop doop, loop doop. What are these sounds? These sounds are created when the valve closes. These are not the sound when the heart is pumping, okay? These are the sound of the valve. Đó là những cái tiếng của mấy cái van đó nó đóng mở đó, chứ không phải là do tại cái tiếng cái tim nó đập đâu. These sounds, heart sounds. If you look at this one. So normal heart sound, you can see here. Loop and then doop. So when loop is the first heart sound, it's when the AV valve, these tricuspid and mitral valve close. Doop. Loop là khi mà hai cái này nó đóng lại nè. And these muscles start to contract. So the ventricle start systole beginning. And it loop is very loud at the apex and lower left sternal border. Nói chung là ở cái đỉnh của tim, cái apex is the, of course, the loudest, and lower left sternal border is here. I think here is like the apex, yeah, but here's the lower left sternal border, and it's longer than the loop sound. Cái tiếng loop nó kéo dài lâu hơn. Loop, loop, nó kéo dài lâu hơn là cái tiếng loop. Cái tiếng loop đầu tiên là khi hai cái van mà tricuspid và mitral nó đóng lại. And the loop is basically when the SL valve close. So semilunar valve close. Cái tiếng loop đầu tiên á là tricuspid và mitral. Còn tiếng loop thứ hai á là do cái aortic với lại cái pulmonary valve nó đóng lại. So when loop sound happen, the systole stops. It's the end of ventricular systole. Đó là khi mà cái ventricle này nó đã xong cái chuyện systole rồi, end rồi thì nó tiếng đục. And đục, you see loudest at the base of the heart. Ở cái đáy cái tim nó sẽ rất là ồn cái tiếng đục này. Alright, that is what you need to know as well. Loop loop sound. What else?
Next, I'm going to talk about
Yes.
blood pressure.
About what?
Blood pressure.
Blood pressure. Yes. What about it?
Blood pressure is the force of blood against the walls of blood vessel. It is measured in millimeters of mercury and is expressed as two numbers, systolic blood pressure and the diastolic blood pressure. A normal blood pressure is around 120 over
80.
millimeter of mercury.
But normally it's a little bit less than that, okay? And when you are advancing in age, càng già thì sao? These number can vary according to age, okay? Không có fix đâu nha. These number are not fixed. It's changes according to age. Okay, what else can you mention about it?
Next, I'm going to talk about some disease,
Yeah.
such as the coronary artery disease. It is the most common type of heart disease.
Heart
Disease.
Mm-hmm.
It develops when the arteries that supply blood to the heart become clogged with the plaque, which contain cholesterol and other substances.
Mm-hmm.
So the blood vessel become narrow, which can cause blood blockage and can lead to heart attack.
Heart attack. Mm-hmm.
Next is arrhythmia.
What? Arrhythmia.
Arrhythmia.
Arrhythmia. Loạn nhịp tim. So basically abnormal heartbeats.
Abnormal.
abnormal heartbeats, arrhythmia. Sometimes, okay, it's a very difficult word to write. Arrhythmia, cái nhịp tim nó kỳ lạ, arrhythmia. Okay, so this is a pathological condition, một tình trạng mà bệnh. For example, when you look at a heart beating, you see it's beating not very evenly, right? Nó không có đập theo kiểu mà nó đều đặn. Between them, it's not very even. So it's like sometimes it's very fast, but then slow down, and then fast, and then something like that. It's very strange beating, right?
Yeah.
For tachycardia, it means increased heartbeats. Bradycardia means very low heartbeats, nhịp tim đập nhanh hay nhịp tim đập chậm. But at least they follow a kind of pattern and very evenly distributed. Nó được phân phối đồng đều nhau về nhịp tim. Dù rằng là có cái rất nhanh nhưng mà có cái chậm, nhưng mà nó vẫn đều nhau. Nhưng mà arrhythmia thì là nó không có đều nhau chút nào cả. So, yeah, please continue now. What else then?
So it occurs when the electrical impulse that coordinate the heartbeat do not work correctly, so the heart may beat too quickly, too slowly. Various types of arrhythmias include atrial fibrillation, premature
Sơ hóa cơ tim. Atrial fibrillation, what about it?
It is a type of irregular heartbeat. And yeah. So people may feel like fluttering or racing heart. Arrhythmias can be life-threatening and have severe complications.
It does. It is sometimes very life-threatening, yeah.
Next, I'm going to talk about heart failure.
Heart failure, yes, about suy tim. Heart failure, what happened?
It is when the heart is still working, but not as well as it should be.
So what does it mean then? Does it provide not enough blood for the body or what?
Yeah.
Look at this one. The heart is supposed to provide a lot of, how can I say, blood to the body, but sometimes it's not enough. Sometimes the body, when, for example, there's a disease or something, the blood cannot pump enough blood to feed their body. So it means there's a heart failure. Nó bị thất bại rồi, nó gọi là suy tim á. So to compensate, the heart will try to grow to become bigger. It's called enlarged heart. Cơ thể luôn có cơ chế để nó compensate, để mà nó bù trừ lại. Nếu mà tim nó không hoạt động đủ để nuôi sống cơ thể, nó sẽ tìm cách mà nó làm cho tim bự ra. We have an enlarged heart, and of course that's not a good thing. Okay, so you have a bloated stomach, fluid a lot of lung, and then swollen and cyanotic legs. Chân nó bắt đầu nó đen thui cái này nè, nó xanh xao, xanh tím, và nó phình lên, vân vân. Okay, what about heart failure then? Okay. Please continue now. Please continue.
I think that's it. That's all what I got.
Oh, really? That's really not really that much. So heart failure can be prevented. And what causes it, you know? Okay, you sure you need more time or no for that?
I think I need more time for that.
All right, what next then?
So I'm gonna continue talking about heart failure.
Heart, heart,
Heart,
heart failure.
heart failure.
Yes, what about heart failure?
So when the heart is not working as well as it should be, the blood will back up and fluid can build up in lungs and cause shortness of breath. So there are some symptoms of heart failures. It is shortness of breath with activity or when lying down, fatigue and weakness, swelling in legs, ankles, and feet,
Mhm.
rapid or irregular heartbeat, reduced ability to
Heartbeat, irregular heartbeat.
irregular heartbeat, reduced ability to exercise, wheezing, or coughing that doesn't go away, or brings up white or pink mucus with spots of blood,
Mhm.
swelling in belly area, rapid weight gain from fluid buildup, nausea or lack of appetite, difficulty concentrating or decreased alertness, chest pain.
Chest pain.
What cause heart failures are unhealthy lifestyle habits, such as unhealthy diet, smoking, or using illegal drugs like cocaine, heavy alcohol use, lack of physical activity. So, in order to prevent heart failure, we need to change our lifestyle to improve our quality of life, try to lose weight, exercise more, use less salt, and manage stress.
Exactly. Actually, living a healthier lifestyle, try to exercise more is very good, actually.
Yeah. Next, I'm going to talk about stroke. So there is ischemic stroke, which is when the blood supply to parts of the brain is blocked or reduced. So it prevents the brain tissue from getting oxygen and nutrients. So the brain cells begin to die. There's also hemorrhagic stroke, which is when a blood vessel in the brain leaks or bursts, which cause bleeding in the brain, and the blood increase pressure on the brain cells and damage them.
Okay.
Um,
Okay, a stroke. What exactly a stroke? And there's actually a stroke, and there's another one in the heart. It's called nhồi máu cơ tim. It's called heart attack. Basically, they are both the same thing, but it's actually caused by a blockage inside the vessels that feed the heart or the brain. The difference is their position. Heart attack is caused by, the heart also need to be fed, right? Because it's a working, it's a lot of muscles. There's a lot of muscle in the heart. It's a working organ. It needs to be fed blood as well. So the vessel that feed the heart is called, what's it called? Coronary vein and arteries. If these coronary vein and arteries are blocked, it will lead to the death of some part of the heart or the whole heart. That is a heart attack. Extremely painful. It's like someone is stabbing you with a knife in your chest. Cái cảm giác như là ai đó cầm con dao đâm rồi đâm vô trong 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 ngực mình đó. Đau đến mức đó đó. It's extremely painful. Well, a stroke is when you have a blockage in the vessel that feeds the brain that can lead very quickly to brain death. So that's why when people have a stroke, normally they will have a paralysis of some part of their body or they will die. Bình thường nó sẽ gây ra paralysis. Cái sự paralysis là sự tê liệt của một vài phần cơ thể luôn, liệt luôn á. Nó giống như là liệt nửa người, like half of the body can be paralyzed, or they will not be able to survive that, or they will live a vegetative life, đời sống thực vật, vegetative life. Okay, very bad. But what can cause these blockage? What do you think?
The cause of this blockage is obesity,
Obesity, yeah.
high blood pressure that is under control, head trauma, such as from car accident, physical inactivity, heavy or binge drinking, the use of illegal drugs such as cocaine, diabetes, high cholesterol, COVID-19 infection.
Sometimes it can happen that way, but I think the real cause it's not very clear. People are still doing research about it, but they said they blame the cholesterol buildup. But to be honest with you, cholesterol is very necessary. It's a vital component to build a cell, you know. So we still need to eat eggs and meat as well. But the reason that causes these cholesterol to get stuck in the vessel is inflammation inside the body. Chính là mấy cái vụ mà nó bị viêm nhiễm trong cơ thể á. Nó mới gây là cholesterol nó build up trong cơ thể nha. Chứ bản chất cholesterol mình rất cần nha để xây dựng tế bào nha. Nó không phải là cái thủ phạm. It's not the perpetrator of these problems with the heart and circulatory system. I think the main problem is inflammation in the body caused by what? Bad diet. Cái thủ phạm chính đó chính là cái sự mà viêm nhiễm cho cơ thể thì nó mới gây ra vấn đề với cholesterol thôi. Gây ra bởi gì? Bad diet, chế độ ăn rất tồi tệ. Processed food, thực phẩm chế biến. Sugar and stuff like that, you know. So don't blame cholesterol because cholesterol is something that we actually need to build a cell, remember? Em cần cholesterol lắm luôn á để em xây dựng tế bào luôn á. And you need cholesterol molecules to keep the cell membrane hard enough. Otherwise, the cell will not be able to function well, you know. Nó giữ cho cái màng tế bào nó đủ cứng. Chứ nếu không là cái tế bào cái cơ thể nó sẽ mềm èo. Nó không thể nào mà nó hoạt động được luôn á. Okay, what else then?
Age also is a risk factor of stroke. People say that people age 55 or older have high risk of stroke than younger people. Also, race and ethnicity also affect because African American and Hispanic people have a high risk of stroke. Sex also is a risk factor. Men have high risk of stroke than women. Women usually older when they have stroke, and they are more likely to die of stroke than men. Hormones also is a risk factor. When taking birth control pills or hormone therapies, include estrogen, can increase risk of having a stroke. So to prevent this, we should increase the quality of our life.
Okay.
By eating a rich diet with fruits and vegetables, exercise regularly, quit tobacco use, manage diabetes, maintain a healthy weight.
Wait, manage what?
Diabetes.
Diabetes, you mean?
Yeah, diabetes.
Phải nói chung là kiểm soát cái việc mà tiểu đường á. Very, very bad thing, you know.
Yeah.
Anything else?
And do not use drugs. That's it.
Okay, yeah, to not use drugs. Very good. Well, that's a normal thing. Okay, anything else?
Nah, that's all.
Nè, that's all. Okay. Are you sure there's nothing else to talk about the circulatory system?
Yeah.
Okay. Talk about like when it's cold and it's hot. How does it affect the blood flow? When it's cold, of course, the blood vessel will contract. They will become smaller, right? Why is that so? What do you think? And when it's hot, the blood vessel will increase in size, they relax. Tại sao lúc nóng thì là cái mạch máu nó giãn ra, tại sao lúc lúc lạnh thì mạch máu máu phải giãn, phải co lại? Why? What do you think?
I think when it is cold, the body uh need to maintain temperature inside the body, so the heart will pump faster. So
So,
small blood vessels will help it to pump better.
yes, exactly. So basically, it's when it's cold, the blood vessel becomes smaller to decreases the chance of the loss of heat, because blood is actually watery. So if it's cold, the blood vessel need to basically get smaller to prevent the loss of the heat. Very good. It's simply like that. Very simple. Okay, what else about the heart? Let me see. All right, I think that's all about the heart system.
Yes.
All right, I'll stop here.